Why, hello there. My name is Alex Frost, or I'm better known as That Guy's Weird, and welcome. Welcome to GLL. I'm locked in a room, first things off. Secondly, the people who locked in my room were kind enough to give me a few things at my disposal. Like, one thing, got a couch. Secondly, got Shaq Fu. Guess that's all a person would ask for, right? So, I don't know what to say. I don't really have a backstory to this game. I don't have anything to say about this game because, honestly, I've never heard of it. Well, I have heard of it, but I've never played it, never watched anything on it. Kinda just heard it was a bad game. So, let's get right into the wonderful, the infamous, the delicate Shaq Fu.
Shaq Fu was a game made back in October 28, 1994, with it being made for the sole purpose to boost Shaq's cred. The game was received pretty poorly and to this day is considered to be one of the worst games ever made. It got so bad that a website was made to tell people to destroy copies of this terrible game. But is it really that bad? Or does it actually deserve to be destroyed? Well, to find out, let's head into the story. The story for Shaq Fu may just be the stupidest thing that I have ever encountered. It may not be the worst thing out there, but since I was playing Red Dead Redemption before I was taken, I would expect results for storytelling and story in general. But without delaying it, here it is. Shaq has a game in Tokyo for charity. He decides to look around at the settings before the game, and he finds a small kung fu dojo, and for some unexplained reason, he decides to go inside. There's no explainable logic to why he did that. Maybe the force of the portal was pulling him inside. But, hey, who cares? Because we're playing Shaq Fu! Once he gets inside, he meets an old man that says he is from the stars. Stop for a second, I already need to take a break. And I'm back. Where was I? Oh yes, the story. Shaq is mildly confused by this, actually so confused that he forgets that this is a random old man in a kung fu dojo and tells him that he should come to the game tonight. The old man tells Shaq that he has to save the lost boy named Mizu, and that he has to go through the portal to the second world if he wants to save the boy. And with that, the game starts. You now have the option to go into 3 fights, 4 on the Genesis. Now each fight also gives a bit of story to this game thanks to the before and after talking. My favorite definitely has to be this one. It's just the stupidest smack talk ever, and yet it's so hilarious. If you haven't caught on yet, the story of this game is actually pretty terrible, and I don't want to play more of this game to learn all the other characters' stories in dueling. 40 minutes is enough for me. And with that, I give the story to this game a 3.7 out of 10. Just so you know, I'm changing up the format a bit where I rate each section and then find the average at the end. If you're wondering, I fiddled with this in FNAF review. So yeah, let's just move on to presentation before I get more radioactive burns from the story. The old ones are just starting to go away now. Let's not beat around the bush. For an SNES game, it looks pretty bad. Remember, this is the same console that got Mega Man X and Donkey Kong Country, both pretty good looking games. This looks like it should have been on the GBA. But while this game does look pretty terrible, the music is actually pretty tight. I actually found myself humming the songs of this game while making this video. I would say almost play this game for the music. But what could not be excused is whenever I opened this game, I was forced to listen to this. I know it's not that important to bring it up, but I couldn't get this game working at first and I had to keep on reloading it. And when you have to listen to this every time you reload, it gets annoying quick. You can't even skip it. Like, what even is this? It sounds like 2 cartoon characters fighting in the background. I don't even know why I'm getting upset over this. This basically means nothing in the rest of the game. In fact, it does mean nothing. The cutscenes don't look any better than the actual gameplay, but weirdly enough, the faces that the characters make when in fight is actually funny to how they designed it. So, I'm gonna give this a 5.2 out of 10. The reason it gets pretty high is because the music just saved the presentation. Like, I'm still humming it right now. Oh boy, the gameplay. Because God just freaking knows how good the gameplay is in this game. Like really, God looked at it and said that it was terrible and threw it into the fires of hell, only for Satan to find it and he was like, yep, let's release this to the public. Yep, you heard it right. Satan had released this game. You know what, that really explains a whole lot. But really, let's get on to the gameplay. That word can barely be used here, because it's so bad. This is a fighting game, right? I mean, I think it is. In order for a fighting game to be good, you usually need tight controls and ones that aren't as clunky and unresponsive as the conveyor belts. And hell, like, really, have you ever seen those? You have to, like, put gallons of oil in them before they work properly. What do I mean by that? Well, I mean by that the controls in this game are clunky and unresponsive. Well, let's do a test. So look at this. I'm pressing left up on the D-pad and X, which should give me a jump in the air. But somehow, I get a back kick. What the frick? Not only that, but it took this a good 2 seconds after pressing the buttons that this happened. This made the last fight that much harder with the unresponsive and clunky controls, because the enemies don't play by these same rules. Next up are the special moves, or should I say lack them of. Like really, there's only one special move in this game that I could find out, and it was a flaming fist that came in use maybe once. I literally beat this game by doing non-stop jump kicks. Well, up until the final fight. And I'm ashamed to say this, but I was having a lot of fun jump kicking my way around. It wasn't until the final fight where I realized, wait, this game isn't fun, is it? So congrats on your victory. You squeezed some fun out of me and boost up the rating. But last thing I want to talk about is the Fury bar. When playing this game, it basically just fills up when you get hit or when you hit the other person. And when it fills up, you get to hit them with a super attack. But you don't get to keep it like in Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe. You get to hit once, and then it's over. Literally, that's it. I can't believe I'm saying this, but Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe did the Fury/Rage mechanic better. Oh god. Oh god. This is what hell feels like, isn't it? Now, weirdly enough, I think this game would have worked better if it was a beat-em-up, which Shaq Fu Legend Reborn seemed to realize. Yes, this game is getting a sequel. The unresponsive and clunky controls wouldn't be as noticeable because you would be beating weaker enemies and would make it a lot harder to notice, well until you get to the bosses. Even the moveset seems to resemble more of a beat-em-up than an actual fighting game. With all of that out of the way, the gameplay gets a 2 out of 10. I said that the fun that it squeezed out of me boosted it. Think about what it was before. When I first started playing this game, it was surprisingly hard. First off, I was actually trying to fight, and secondly, I was playing on normal. Fatal mistake right there. This will be the only game where I recommend changing the difficulty to easy if it's actually your first time playing. After I played it on easy, I went back and played one fight at normal. They got wrecked. So that also means that how you play will change the difficulty of the game. Actually trying to fight is a secret ultra hardcore mode, no matter what difficulty you're on. Except all of that is supposed to be the main mechanics, not a secret extra ultra hardcore mode, or whatever I said. So, the difficulty gets a 3.1 out of 10. So, you've beaten the first master with one of them revealing to you where Nizu is, all the way on the other side of the map. Oh! Boom, boom, pow, pow! Oh. They're all dead. Finally, we make it to the Dragon's Pass where we fight Beast. Setra's greatest servant. Wow, such original name, guys. Great job. You did good. Fantastic. So, do some more jump kicks, and once again, he's dead. But this time, he says he will return. Ooh, I wonder if that will come back later. Finally, Shaq makes it to the stage and talk about a freaking difficulty spike. Geez, I've referenced this guy multiple times throughout the video, and that was because I was truly caught off guard. This guy probably took up 25 minutes of my total 40-minute playtime. But saying you do beat this guy somehow, with the difficulty spike and all, you get to Nizu. And I'm pretty sure on Sega Genesis that you actually get to have a fight with him. Maybe it's on later difficulties too, I'm not sure. But you bring him back to the real world and rush to the basketball game with the old guy and Nizu for some reason. When you get to the basketball game, Beast is there, waiting for you. This was the point right here where I was like, nope, never playing this game again. Good thing we're at the end of the game. Shaq Fu makes one last snarky comment, and the game ends. Thank God. 1 down, 24 more to go.
So I don't really know what to say about this game. It's pretty bad. It's like really bad. And I did give it some pros, I mean. Cons too, there's a lot of cons. I did give it some pros in the video. And I do agree with those pros, but for the most part, it's a steaming pile of ox crap. And it may be better than, say, freaking maybe bull and ox crap combined, but at the end, it's still ox crap, and it still smells terrible. So, adding up all the things I've gotten from it, all like the ratings for each section, it got an average, meaning the rating, of 3.5. So, congrats Shaq Fu. Got a 3.5 out of 10. So, was it worse than I was expecting? Weirdly, no. It was still pretty bad, and honestly, I would probably never, ever play it again. I'm probably never gonna play it again. But it wasn't worse than I was expecting. I went into this expecting the worst because a lot of people have said that it is one of the worst games of all time, and it is. It may just be one of the worst games of all time, but going into it, I was expecting like 0.1 out of 10. Certainly wasn't that. There were a few charming qualities to it, and in the end, it was fun. Also, I want to point out that it was surprisingly fun. I'm like not even joking. I had a blast with just playing it, just having stupid fun. It was unbelievably hilarious, and so Shaq Fu, congratulations. Suck some fun out of me, just to keep yourself alive long enough. And yes, I did kind of plan this out with Shaq Fu too, so congrats. So, with that, I'm going to end the video. So, I'll see you back in 2 weeks for, I don't know yet.